Hello, 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 everybody. Good afternoon. We're back here another wonderful Monday. And I'm always excited to be here. You know that. And any of you, when you come on, it's exciting to me. Just know that. So I'm just glad that you're here today. Oh, we have somebody coming in through another channel. But I'd like to thank you for being here. I'd like to thank the replay viewers, those of you that watch on the replay. It really makes a difference to see you guys come in. It keeps the show going, keeps us encouraged. Thank you. We also have sponsors for today's show. Today we have First Friday's Travel. If you're traveling and you need travel insurance, go to firstfridaystravel.com. You get your travel insurance and protect you, your family, and friends for anything that can happen while you're traveling. We also have First Book Academy, where you go to write your first book. They are also a sponsor. And we have a new sponsor today called the Idea Club. If you have an idea, ladies and gentlemen, and you would like to bring it to market, then the Idea Club is where you want to go, and they will be able to help you with that. And if you just leave the idea, I think it's ideaclub.org. You can go there and they can help you, or you go to ideaclub.com, either one of those, and they can help you. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, today, our special guest today is this lady is the vice president of marketing for CSSE. I'm gonna have to find out what CSSE, but it's Sony overseeing Sonar Entertainment. Her name is Lisa I'm gonna say it wrong. Papatzimas, I think it's Papatzimas. And then let me tell you how big the position is, because I was just speaking to her a few minutes ago and I was saying, whoa, this is a lot of responsibility. She's overseeing Sonar Entertainment, Halcyon Studios, Crackle, and Crackle Plus. In addition to that, she's a fierce leader in the entertainment industry and constantly staying strides ahead of the marketplace. With a proven track record in marketing, brand strategy, strategic partnerships, TV development, and marketing, she is responsible for overseeing campaigns for Stephen King's Mr. Mercedes on Peacock, Jordan Peele's Hunters on Amazon, and Mysterious Benedict Society on Disney+. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the Mary D Show, Lisa. I don't want to say the last name wrong.
But you did say it almost correctly. It's Papatzimas. So
Papatzimas.
most people call me Lisa P because it's just easier.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, welcome, Lisa. Welcome.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's an overcast day in Manhattan Beach, so I'm cool.
Yeah, we're here in Riverside, and it's overcast here. Not too bad, but it's not the norm for our weather this time of year.
Right. I should have a little bit more sun. It shouldn't be fall yet, but that's okay. I'm cool. I'm awesome.
Right. Well, I know we met through Clubhouse.
Right.
That's what through I was listening to you speak one day, and I said, well, she sounds really interesting. I wonder if she would like to come on the show and just share with our audience. Why don't you tell the audience what it is that you do, and then a little bit about how did you get there? From here.
It's a long road. So I am the vice president of marketing for CSSE, which is Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. They own Crackle along with Sony. So I oversee Crackle Plus, Popcorn, Flicks, which is another AVOD of theirs. But my main flow is between Screen Media and Crackle, Halcyon, and all the SVODs like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Disney+. And that Halcyon is Sonar, so Sonar Entertainment as well. So
wow,
it's a big, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun work. So there you go. How I got there, I was with Sonar for a number of years, and Sonar was acquired by CSSE. So when that acquisition happened, my role expanded even more great than just dealing with Sonar's titles and library. But then it's a whole heck of a long road from there to here, from all the other companies I worked with. So, but very happy where I'm at.
Good.
I'm blessed. So.
Gwendolyn would like to say hello. She said, hello. Ladies. Welcome, Lisa.
Well, hello. I'd have to put my glasses on to read it, so I'm going to rely on you to read what they're saying.
Not a problem. I know, because I'm listening to you, And it sounds like the steps that you've taken have been, you like you said, you were one of the divisions was acquired by someone else, but you
Right.
really you were able to pivot into that because many times people can't and they don't stay on.
Right. Either you don't get acquired, because usually they'll acquire the assets and not the people, and then they relook at everything and decide who they're going to take on, or what human they're going to acquire as well.
Right. Right.
So I'm blessed enough that I was acquired with the company, and then expanded to utilize what I know to
Right.
help the company,
Okay.
facilitate what their mission is.
Hmm. Now you said you started the way you this always were you always in entertainment industry or were you in another industry?
I've dabbled in a few other industries, but all related probably to entertainment. I started out in front of the camera, and then from there moved to the backside into producing. And I owned a studio with a partner of mine, and that was for 10 years. And that was more the fashion and beauty industry. So
Mhm.
that's where I dabbled more in that entity, which was a great experience because I learned how to run my own company and take it from $24,000 to $1 million net each year. So that's, a great accomplishment as far as knowing how to function in the corporate world where I am dealing with millions and millions of dollars every single day on budgets.
Right.
So that that has helped. It also made me realize how much I really love TV more so than anything else. So I'm glad I'm working in this area.
Is there a big because I know well TV has there's no way I mean the expansion has been so great because I'm in the age group remember when TV went off at 12 o'clock at night and the thing came on
Mm,
and that's
yeah.
I'm one of those people so I remember I know there are people here that they don't even know what I'm talking about. Um, they
or
would
when, or when there was only like four networks and
yes
you had to get up to turn the channel on the TV.
yes
Yeah, I mean, television has evolved so immensely, and it's been something that I've always, even as a kid, absolutely adored. And I know, it used to be the bastard child, like you didn't want to do TV as an actor because it wasn't that great. You wanted to only be a film actor,
right.
or you only wanted to write films. But I think television, because of the advent of social media and because of the
Mhm.
smartphone, it has changed how we consume our entertainment now.
Yes.
And so that's why I think television has become so predominant,
Mhm.
with all of the SVODs, AVODs, all of that.
Well, you might because when you say SVOD and AVODs, many people don't know what it is that you're
Okay.
talking about.
So an SVOD is your screen video on demand. That's your Netflix, your Amazon. Your AVOD would be a Hulu. It's the ad supported ones. So advertising video on demand.
Okay, all
So
right.
so
So the
Peacock is that, but then you could pay extra and not have it. So those are, that's where that is. Disney Plus would be an SVOD because there is no AVOD component to it.
okay, so you just pay the monthly fee and then you could turn
Yeah.
for 7. Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Subscriber. Yeah. Subscriber video on demand.
I believe it or not have only recently, I say in the last year, been
Mhm.
into I guess you say Netflix type. Just really hadn't paid attention. And then once I started watching now, and you just see the series, and you can keep watching, no commercial. I am like, oh my goodness, it's,
Yeah.
it's
But
here.
I mean, it's great for us as consumers to sit there and be able to not to watch commercials, but it's not ideal for ad revenue.
Mm,
Because you're based just on the subscription model, hoping that everybody starts to subscribe. You'll never run out of subscribers.
right.
AVOD, you rely upon your ads in order to generate your revenue.
Oh, how
So,
with the cable, it's about
yeah.
ads too, though. Then correct?
Well, network and cable are about, they're an AVOD, but they're not an AVOD because that's on demand. They're appointment television. So everything is by appointment. I mean, now they do have their components for on demand,
Mhm.
but they are network and cable, which is completely, that's ad supported.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah. It's daunting. I
I'm just,
sometimes I shock myself that I know all this stuff. So
but
I can barely see you. So I'm gonna put on my glasses. There
no,
we
but
go.
I think, and Richard said hello. Hi, Richard.
Hello,
Richard,
Richard.
Richard and Gwendolyn is my cousin.
Oh,
But it's nothing like having family support you, nothing at all. So,
exactly.
hi,
That's
Gwen.
important.
Well, I will tell you, it's just hearing all this, my mind is
Mm.
going, well, just keeping up with it. But what I see is, as an audience, it seems like there's no end to what we will, what we're watching. And what I don't know if everybody else is noticing, but I've noticed it seems like is it my observation, but the acting is so good at all of these levels. I
Well, I think because you're able to have the talent attached to it because the amount of resources that you need in order to produce it lets you to be able to get that type of talent. You
Right.
do see really good content. I mean, there's really great content. I'm blessed that I'm with Sonar, which is Halcyon now, and been able to work on Mr. Mercedes or
Mhm.
uh, Hunters or Mysterious Benedict Society that's on Disney Plus. So, I'm very blessed that I can work with talent that is so good,
Oh,
that's at the top of their game.
that is just, to me. I see. So to me, I think I look at the industry. I'm thinking, if you're a good actor, I'm not saying it's. I know it's very competitive, but it
Mhm.
seems like so many people are working because there's so many options now that weren't there before for people to work.
Well, I think you have a lot of areas where you can put your content up. So therefore, you have this, plethora of or an abundance of product. So you're able to go, anywhere and have your project being seen. I mean, still the really, the Emmy content, the Emmy type of supported content that's not as vast as you may think.
Mhm.
I mean, the criteria in order to get an Emmy is really high, so you have to produce that type of content.
Right,
Your
right.
production value has to be really good in order to acquire that.
Oh.
So,
Now, just I'm not, because I was looking on the page of the movies that it seemed like, well, obviously they're worldwide. How does it? Is there so many movies annually that your company produces, or is there they have a list, or how does that work?
I think, with screen media, I'm new to them right now, so I'm really learning how they do their films.
Hmm.
So I really can't answer to that. But
Okay.
what I can answer is towards television. We have 31 titles that are in development.
Oh,
So it's hoping that, you have them on various stages from pre-development to, pitch part and then from that into production. So at
right.
any given time, we can have like 4 productions being shot at the same time in 1 year. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like that much, but it is a
That's,
lot.
I would think so.
Um,
Uh-huh.
but as far as films go, what I'm learning right now is we have a good 4 to 5 that are released each month.
Each month.
So, each month. So so yeah.
I think
It's a lot of work.
it is, and it's
Sorry.
got to be very, but I'm sure it's systematized. You know what I mean? It's this point as to what the when it goes in, or like you said, they have to pick the project first as to what project they feel is for
A-
your.
as far
Mhm.
as us, you know what? You have to be compelled to tell the story, right? That has to be the first thing, is you have to have the compelling to tell this type of story, and as a studio we have to be behind that story that's going to be told, and then it has to be, will that story be able to be marketed? And that is your
Mhm.
number one thing. It's, everybody has a story to tell, and that's great,
Mhm.
but will everybody else want to watch it, and can we market it out there, and can we make money? Because we still are a business, so
Right,
you still have to be able to make that money off of the story that you're creating.
right,
you know it's
right.
not, passion projects are difficult to make money off of if they
Mhm.
aren't good stories.
Right, right. Um, so what, I know there's certain dynamics that are involved that make a good story.
Hmm.
Is it like family
Right.
tends to be something people love? But we tend to kind of lean toward love interest, I think, in almost any story, where that's considered, or is there a formula?
Well, there are all different types of formulas, with your
Mhm.
rom-com, your horrors, your sci-fi. You have certain stories that, patterns in how you develop, and you can look at it since, Shakespearean times.
Right,
I feel as though every single Shakespearean play has been remade in modern times into stories, right?
right.
Because he has a formula down and how it goes, how the acts go, who's the protagonist, who's the antagonist,
Mhm.
what's going to happen, A to B to C. And I can watch things now. And if you can shock me, and I don't mean shock me by showing me something gruesome, I'm
Mhm.
talking about shocking me as far as me not thinking, going, I know this formula. Boy
Right.
meets girl, girl falls in love with boy, girl breaks up with boy fights after her to get her. If you can show me something different, then wow, that's
Yeah.
compelling and different to me. Same thing goes with action and all that. But you do have your formulas, and it's been that way for hundreds of years, anyways.
Right.
So I really don't think you're going to come up with something that's different, but it could be a story that's more relevant to us today, you
Okay.
know?
Okay.
So,
It just depends.
that's the thing.
It'll be more present day, is what it is. As to, but I hear what you're
No,
saying.
I
No.
think you can do. I mean, I'm a fan of period pieces, but right now it's strange for
Mm.
me to find out that a period piece is the 1980s. Um, as opposed to when I think period pieces, I always think they're like the 1700s or 1600s, but not 1980.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but
Do
I
you,
think you can
is
go
the
ahead.
clothes? I'm sorry. Is it the costumes from that period? That,
No, I think it's the manner in which you know the manner in which the culture is from back then. It's not so much, I mean, I love everything about from costume to set designing to all of that.
Mhm.
Um, but I think it's more of a time that, allows me to escape the phone, and that allows me to not think
Mm.
of technology. And it's such a
Oh,
pure basic time
uh-huh.
where, you can just get into the character.
Okay.
So, but I mean, I like compelling stories that are placed dystopian future, so I like
Mhm.
those as well.
Okay.
It has to have good character development, and that to me is the most important thing.
Whoa. And that's one thing I'm working on right now.
Yeah.
Because I've been told, like, when you really want to spend time and know that character, not just on the surface. I mean, to that you feel that person's who that character is in your story. So I'm learning too. I'm just learning about.
Yeah, character development I think is quintessential to making a good project.
Okay,
So,
I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna keep that. We have Elaine
yeah.
Wilson. She said, "Good afternoon, Mary." She's WAG. That's a community action group. Has a great important information to share today. Sorry, I was late coming in today. It is okay.
No.
She is definitely a fan.
Oh,
There's
good.
people. If they're not here, there's no show.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
So thank you, Elaine. Well, I know I'm listening to you because the areas that you're talking about are pertinent to some of the things I'm working on. So it really is hitting
Mhm.
home as to some things
Right,
I need to focus on when it comes to writing, because this is an area it's new to
right.
me, and I'll be the first to admit I think there's a part of me that's fearful of it because I don't know it.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a writer. I mean, I've been told that I can, and I have great stories, but I prefer to leave it to the David E. Kellys and the, Stephen Kings, with that, because I'm just, not that's not my superpower.
Right, right.
Even at USC, it wasn't my superpower. My superpower is producing and acting, and I will put, my efforts
Mhm.
into those things and let the writers write.
Oh, I know like you said, when you're marketing it's worldwide, correct? It's when the movie,
Globally, yeah, globally,
and
yes.
I'm sure I think it's not exciting too.
No, I mean, it's what I like about marketing as far as TV and film goes, is that I'm involved from the get go, from the IP creation, and will this IP, be marketable throughout the world. Will people come and see it before we're even going to make it? So I'm
Mhm.
involved with all of the deck creations and all of the um, research on, is it a viable product? Because you have to look at it, as much as we want to sit back and enjoy
Mhm.
film and television.
Mhm.
I look at it as a product. It's no different than a bottle of shampoo that I created and have to sell. It's it's
Oh,
it's a it's a product, and
okay.
it's a consumer based, and will the consumer buy it? And we have all these studies that we get into about whether or not this product is viable to watch. You do have, the type of stuff that, I think is like mindless type of entertainment,
Mhm.
where people are bored and they're switching through things and they'll click on it. So the clickbait of it allows them to go in and they get sucked into watching, and it may not be that great, but it fills the time. So it's
Right,
time
right,
filler.
right.
The type of content we do um, is at a level where we're looking at, can we tell the compelling story? How
Mhm.
great can we make it? And what awards can we win?
Mm.
So that's,
Mm.
that's where, we're going. And I think
Okay.
that's where a lot of the bigger studios and the bigger, production companies are looking at. It's like, how do we tell these stories in the most vibrant way that we can,
Right, right.
you know?
I, like you said, you fell in love with TV as a child.
Yeah.
Was that something you just, as opposed to movies? Because some people would say
Oh,
they went to movies all the time or something like that.
well, no, I went to movies all the time. I just liked, I relished good stories. And I think my girlfriend and I
Oh,
were talking the other day about Star Wars, and
mhm.
it came out, what, 1979. I was in middle school, and I went to the theater back then 17 times to go see Star Wars.
Wow.
So, it's just that I really like watching stuff, or escaping into it, and
Mhm,
creating
mhm.
that world.
Right.
So television, I got hooked into a lot when I was younger, because I also really liked all of the storytelling that was happening, and the escape that you can go and where you can, be transferred to in this.
Right.
Um, so I know my mother always used to yell at me when I'd be watching TV and coming up and turning it off and telling me to go outside, because
Um,
it's a, what is it called, the boob tube back then. And so it's just like something I just have always been
yeah.
um,
It's,
gravitating towards. It would be like how, like, a football player always wanted to play football. In the same way
mm,
with television, I've always, wanted to be involved in the entertainment industry. And although there's been times where I've taken breaks, I have always been pulled back. So it's my
mm.
destiny to be here. So I
Oh,
will just embrace it. So,
oh, that's wonderful. I must admit, I did see Star Wars, I think, but I'll be honest, I did not see it 17 times. So
yeah. I mean, I've watched it even more times now because my son happened to, like, fall in love with Star Wars as well. So,
no.
yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant series, because going to USC, I was fortunate enough where I got to study a lot of Lucas's work. So,
Mm,
to know what it took in order to make it, to know, how he had to change it, to know all of those things about this,
mhm,
one film is great, but there's all these stories too about all these other television shows or films that
mhm.
go through the same hoops and hurdles in order to make it. It's not easy to make a film or a TV series. It's
Wow.
not, something that's just simple. Here, I got a great story, somebody's going
No.
to buy it. There's so many mitigating factors to, will it take off. So let's say you have 40 projects in development, you'd be
Mhm.
lucky if in the course of 5 years, 5 of them to 10 of them get made.
Whoa.
So
So basically, like you said, his idea, I don't know the story behind George Lucas. Was it rejected because it was so cutting edge?
I think it was rejected a lot. What he got from Universal on his final proposal was they did not want to take the licensing rights for all the toys, because they didn't think the film was going to do well. So why have it? And so George Lucas, to this day, I think now with Disney, has the licensing, or had the licensing rights. So every single toy that was sold until Disney took it, he made so much money because that was more important than actually the film rights. So you've
That
got
tells you.
stories like, yeah, you've got
Mhm.
stories like this, and how certain films were supposed to go one direction and they end up going in a different direction. So we
Yeah.
can't sit there and think when we're creating a story, this is how it is, this is how I want. You got to understand this is a team effort, so things are going to change. It may come up with your concept as a writer, but
Yeah.
through the course of time it evolves.
It does. Like that.
So
That I always say it has a life of its own. That's what I think
yeah.
it does. It has.
Yeah, it does. And then how, we market it could be completely different than how you may feel it should be marketed. And the thing is, we understand what the consumer wants. We understand
Mhm.
how to target the consumer, how to pull the consumer in.
Right.
So, and
Okay.
we need to make our money back. If we're spending, millions of dollars, we need to make millions of dollars back. We don't just make it so it sits there.
Right. 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 And I think.
Yeah.
Well, do you? How do you know? And going before I even the next
Mhm.
comment. Oliver has a comment. Oliver said, "This is my husband, by the way." So he said.
Okay.
He says, "Hi, babe. Welcome, Lisa, to the show. This is going
Thank
to
you.
be a great one." Oh,
That's sweet of him. Okay.
he's the executive producer of my show, so he's
Okay.
and he
Good.
does a good job of keeping me on task and everything else. But
Good job.
I'm sitting here listening as to because really I mean, like for instance, I'll use George Lucas. I'll use even the Hunter Games, where you have
Yeah.
you don't know you have an idea what the movie's going to do, because I think the very bare minimum is to recoup your the investment, but you always want to
Right.
beyond that investment.
Well, yeah, you would like to, like with the Hunger Games, right? Is what you're
I said
talking
the
about.
Hunter Games.
Yeah.
Sorry
Yeah.
about that.
So I know the EP of that started that, and she acquires books like,
Mm,
she acquired the Hunger Games, and then she also did Captain Underpants as well, if I'm correct. Yeah,
uh-huh.
no, 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 not Captain
It's,
Underpants. Thinking of the wrong thing. Um, I know the movie, and I'm not even like, it's not even in my head. It's a great kids book as well. Even with that book, it was a topic that is, kids killing kids because they have to survive in this dystopian future.
mm,
So, that the first movie didn't have a great as budget as the second and the third. But what they did was amazing. They told the story extremely well because I've read all three books prior to them coming out, knowing that they were coming out. And the market it hit and how it flew off was fantastic.
mm.
And generally, that's what we do. We take IPs from books because
Oh,
the
okay.
books, yeah, because the books we know are proven IPs. They're proven
Mm,
to have done well. They're proven to have an audience that you can tap into,
mhm.
and you have a strategic board where you know how you're going to, shoot it.
Right,
So, or
right.
you know how you're going to plan it out. So, a lot of the times I think, taking stories from book and transferring them into film is the way we absolutely go all the time, because it's more secure for us to have that IP.
Okay. And then you already have a built-in audience
Mhm.
that's waiting for this product to come, I'm assuming.
Right, but then you also have a built-in audience that extremely hypercritical if you don't get it right.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I
So,
didn't think about that. So they want that story told, you know,
correctly.
isn't it? But you can't tell everything in a book as you can that's in
No,
the
you
book.
can't. You can't. And I think, a good show of that would be what is it? Harry Potter. Like if you've
Huh.
ever read the Harry Potter books, there's so much more
Hmm.
intense and deep, and you sit there going, how are you going to shove this into 2 hours? And she does. She covers it. But
Hmm.
if you read the book, it is more deep because you've got thousands of pages that you can put all of this into. So yeah, you're taking, a 1,000-page book and making it into 2 hours.
Oh, that just it doesn't even sound possible. But
But
even
but it is, because it was done very well. So it is possible.
Yeah.
Mr. Mercedes is based off the books of Stephen King. So that was able to transpire extremely well. And that really comes down to the writing team, because the writing team
Mhm.
has to be phenomenal,
Right, right. I'm
you
sitting
know.
here thinking of Harry Potter because of the fact that the book was in the rejection pile of from the
Oh,
editor.
yeah. For
So
all the
then,
books, yeah, she wasn't getting any of them sold. Nobody wanted to listen to her, or they thought it was bad. Yeah, you'll get rejected too. It doesn't mean your story is not good. It just means it's not good fit for that person. But
right,
I don't think that's something that you have to take to heart, because we've all been rejected through our lives,
that's
you
true.
know?
It's true.
Um, it's that one person's opinion, and I'll let it be over there, and I'll continue on my path. So I can't please everybody. I've learned that. So
You're right. You're absolutely right. I just I think and I wish I could say, but I'm definitely one of those people that I do take it personally. I'm like, you know what? You don't like what I'm doing, you know.
oh yeah, I'm done with that. I mean, yeah.
I
If I
have
did that, if I took that opinion, I would be, less than dirt if I took the opinion of the ex-husband or other people. Nah,
to. You're
nah.
right. You're right. I
So
think I'm working on that of not
yeah,
being so, wearing my heart on my sleeve type thing. But it's
yeah.
taken a while to get here to just be. And I'll be honest. I listen to Gary V has helped me tremendously.
Mm,
He doesn't know it, but he has. Of you have to trust yourself above all
yeah,
else, and
yeah.
that's really really important. And so that's something I be honest. I struggle with it, but I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better.
Yeah, I think everybody struggles with it. I think for me, it's like I've realized the only person's opinion I really value is God's opinion, and that's it. And as far as I know, God loves me, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Everybody else's
Right.
opinion can go away. You know, it's taken time to get there. Trust me, it's
Yeah.
taken me time to get there. But now that I'm there, it's like, whoo, life is so much better.
Oh yeah, it has to be
So
because
much, yeah,
it's the when he says to value your own opinion, he's telling you that.
yeah,
Like you said, with you and God, we're a
yeah,
creation. So I agree 1,000% with
yeah.
that for sure. I know.
Amen.
What
Go
is
ahead.
what I would say. I think I remember hearing on Clubhouse, you ended up, was it a promotion? It was something big that was going on. I caught the,
I don't know. God, I don't even remember half the time what I talk about on Clubhouse. Because it just goes on for hours and hours. Yeah, no, I mean, I think probably that was in Gino's room, where we talk about our shares. We do one positive business, one
Mhm.
positive personal. So business wise, it was a promotion, which is what I'm doing now with CSS TV. So I am now the vice president of marketing for CSS TV, which is another division of CSSE. So
Mm.
yeah, they just keep on adding all of these little things, which is fun, which is great, because
Mm.
then I have no life outside. But no, I mean, I thoroughly enjoy my job. So so I'm excited to be working with my CEO more closely on development of the production companies.
Okay.
So,
Well, I
so
know that this is our hand clap for you. So
thank you. I hand clap myself, hug myself, do
because I
all
know
of
you
that.
were talking about and they were mentioning it, and you were very very humble about it. At the same time, I think everyone was flashing their mics and telling you
Yeah,
congratulations. I thought that was
yeah,
really nice. Yeah.
yeah. That was really cool. Yeah, I think humility is always really good. You know. Because
Uh,
it's like, I'm humble and grateful, and I thank God for the opportunities that have been presented to me, and that they're being presented at the time that I can handle them.
well, I know
So
when you think that all these different hats you're wearing, you must be very organized to do these things.
yes, yeah, yeah, you have to be, because with our industry, it could be a loss of millions of dollars. So,
Mhm.
I'm dealing with budgets that are very big, and
Mhm.
I'm encompassing all budgets, marketing, the film production, everything like that.
Right.
because it is something that you have to know what you're doing. You
Right.
have to be able to multitask, and you have to be able to keep everything in order.
Mhm.
I have no idea how I do that. I just think that is, you know, one thing could be running my own business at the level that I did
Mhm.
12 years ago.
Right.
um, Being a mother, being able to handle and multitask, having a child and organizing him.
Mhm.
So I think, also too, I think as women, we can multitask and we're more
Mm.
organized than our counterparts. No disrespect to any men out there, but I really definitely feel that, that's one thing that we're able to, be able to
Yeah.
handle a lot.
Yeah. I do.
So
I agree. I think that's just, I don't know. I can't say why that is, but I notice I have friends on their job, they're doing the work of three people.
yeah,
I know friends, when they left, they had to hire three people to do the work they were doing. When
yeah,
they,
and
that's just the way it
yeah.
is.
I'm blessed enough that I have a great team. My team is absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
We all work really well together. They work so strong and so hard. So,
oh,
I'm so happy that I have their shoulders to stand on, because I think
oh,
without them, we wouldn't be able to do this correctly. And it is such a well-oiled machine that really moves quite well. Nobody has egos, but I'm blessed in that fact,
oh,
because there's a lot of other companies that I've been a part of where it hasn't been like that.
oh,
So, it's nice to be in a place where somebody has your back.
oh, that's wonderful.
So,
It becomes more
yeah.
a family too type
Well,
of.
I think in the film industry, in the entertainment industry, you have to be a family. You're working with these,
Yeah.
filmmakers for several years on their
Mhm.
projects. Some of them who have been working a decade on their project. And you're spending a lot of time with each other. I mean, especially when it comes up to drop day and, the launch of everything. It's just, it's just such a close knit working environment that you have to, really understand each other and understand like how a family works together.
Okay.
Sometimes I think even better than a family, to be quite honest.
Okay. I can definitely see that because it's hours and days and weeks and months, and you get to
Yeah.
really know each other too in that through that
Yeah.
process.
I mean, and if you're shooting on production, you're working with each other 17 hours a day. So yes.
Whew.
you know.
That's more than you would in, like you said, with your own family.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
That's
Oh, go on. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go right ahead.
I was saying Susan Meek says, "Hi, Mary and Lisa. This is so informative. Thank you."
Thank you.
All right, thank you,
Thanks.
Susan. And we also have Sheila. She says, "Hi, ladies. Hi, Sheila."
Hello.
So I'm going to go down and read the names of people that made comments today, and they are
Good.
Gwendolyn. We have Richard, Elaine, Oliver, Susan, and Sheila. Thank you, each of all of you, because I'm listening to you. This was years ago. I was on a set, but this was for whose movie? It was a friend of mine. She was in a movie.
Right.
I was just literally fascinated by all that.
Mm.
There were so many more people behind the camera than there ever were in front of the camera.
Yeah.
That what
It
it
takes a lot. It takes a lot of people in order to shoot to make a movie or make a television show.
I was
And
shocked. I was shocked.
yeah. And then
Mhm.
what you're seeing on the set isn't even what you're seeing in the studio, and how many people are inside of there making this happen too. So, you
Yeah.
know, when you're on set, you have a select point, but you got to look at who the producers are, the EPs, and then everybody in the studio that has helped it come
Mm.
forward. So, and especially if you're working on something with, a lot of EFX. So a
Mhm.
Marvel film, you've got credits that go on for like an hour afterwards, because it's so many people that need to be a part of this to make those, the vision that was in that writer's mind come to life.
It's amazing. I didn't even realize I've been doing this for years. At the end of movies, I would always sit and watch the credits.
Oh yeah.
I have never. Usually, there's nobody in the theater, but it's like
Mhm.
me and my husband just saw Respect a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And I'm sitting
Yeah.
here, and we're the only two in the theater. And
Oh, wow.
we're watching the credits. And just to see how many people it took to make that movie.
It
It's,
does. It takes a lot.
it is. It's an army of people behind
Well,
the
you,
scenes, you know.
yeah, you do. I mean, it's just it is so amazing. I mean, I that's probably why I like it a lot because you're working with such creative people that it's so inspiring.
It is. It really. I enjoyed the movie, but at the same time, I appreciate. Yeah, and now I didn't realize too. I'm always
Mhm.
looking to see who is the executive producer on movies. Who is the?
Uh,
I didn't know
and do you
before.
know who it is for Braun or no?
For respect, Jennifer Hudson is the EP.
No, she's
She's
the
listed.
actor who has an EP credit, but
Mhm.
as far as who it is, it's Brenda Gilbert, who's with
Oh,
Braun. So
okay.
it's her and her husband's. But then there's a whole other production companies too they're aligned with as well. It's not just one production company, but that is a Braun show, and they've been doing amazing work from Judah and Messiah to Bombshell. Uh, and then they've got this now with Jennifer Hudson. Great work, great, amazing work, great ad campaigns, great promotions, great everything.
See,
So
and
it's
these are,
fantastic.
I was like, these are you. These are people you know. I'm sitting here reading the names, but
Yeah,
I don't know these people. But what I've learned to do is go and research. Don't be
yeah,
afraid to look and see, like you said, what they're doing and what they're involved in, and all. And you can now with
right.
the internet, pretty much everything's open to a certain extent. You can see what with
Yeah,
their
you
project.
can research. Yeah, you can research anything. I mean, you can look on IMDb and see who everybody is that's in it. I use something else called Studio System, and that's what the studios use. Yeah, you want it's $8,000 a month. Trust me, not going to be something that the normal person's going to get. So, yeah, no, it's within our studios. So it's the IMDb for the studios,
Oh,
and then inside there it gives us exact details on what contracts are and this, that, and the other for each type of series that is out there, what they'll let be privy. Yeah, doing your research is paramount,
right.
because you need to know who the players are. There
Right.
isn't just one player.
No.
So it's definitely daunting, and it's such a interesting world now. I mean, we've got major things that have happened. CAA and ICM are merging, so that becomes this huge powerhouse of agency. You've got, things, like us, my companies were acquiring libraries left, right, and center, and acquiring other, entities. You've
Mhm.
got such a media war right now that's going on. It's a very thrilling time for media.
It just
So
seeing a lot, and I noticed I'm seeing more independent filmmakers. Uh,
there's a lot of independent, but it all depends what you consider to be independent. We're independent. We're an independent studio, but if you look at
okay.
our work, you probably will think, "Oh, no, you're not."
Mhm.
Now, mind you, Crackle is owned 20% by Sony, but it's still CSSE, so it's still an independent. It's not part of that,
Okay.
Sony, Paramount, um, 20th Century Fox, Disney, those are, an MGM. Well, MGM has just been bought. So, by Amazon, if I'm correct. Yeah. So you've got these wars that are happening right now, and you
Mhm.
have your super planets or your Death Stars, and they're starting to acquire all of the smaller, what is
Right.
considered to be the studios. So you're going to see more and more of that because Google or Alphabet is huge and has so much money. So does Apple, and so does Facebook, and so
Yeah.
does Amazon. In order to acquire all of those things, they're bigger than Disney, and they're bigger than you know the amount of money that's transpiring right now is immense. And
It,
Netflix is not a huge player. Netflix is a
yeah.
solid star, but it's not as big as Amazon, Apple, Google,
Correct.
or Alphabet, I should say, not Google, Alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's just a lot going on, and I know. And you just
yeah,
said I didn't know that MGM was acquired by Amazon. I
yeah,
did. No.
that happened. That happened I think, back in March.
Okay.
I have to look at my notes because it happened so long ago. It's like, oh, okay, it's done. Let's see how they're gonna utilize that MGM library.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's an immense library. It's got tons of stuff in it that they can now have the licensing in order to produce new content from.
Wow. I
So
can't even imagine. I think Amazon is relatively new. Am I correct? Not brand new, but
no,
to
I
the
mean,
industry.
no, I mean, Amazon's been around now. Um, I mean, I'm going to misquote it, but it's probably at least a minimum of 5 years for Amazon Prime. As far as Amazon goes, is producing content,
Mhm.
it's got to be 3, 4 years because Hunters has been in the making for that long, and we're on Amazon.
Okay.
So they're not new to it. Um, Anybody in the playing field right now at that particular level isn't really new at it. I mean, other than Apple's new at it as far as their SVOD.
Mhm.
Uh, they've just started acquiring. I don't know if they're acquiring library yet, but they are producing. So therefore, they're getting their library situated. They don't really have a robust library, but their main source of income is their products, and those
Mhm.
products can support a studio
Right.
because they're worth $1 trillion. Um, so when you
Mhm.
have Microsoft or Alphabet, which has Google and YouTube and all of that, they're acquiring their library. The whole thing is a library wars. It's who has the biggest library in order to, one, then sell that library internationally and nationally, but then also, two, have the licensing rights in order to make reoccurring shows like Disney has the universe of Marvel, or the universe of Star Wars.
Mm,
So
mm.
those allow you to keep on making the money that you need to make.
Right.
Because when you're doing TV, you're not looking at doing. I mean, unless if it's a limited series, which used to be the movie of the week for television. Limited
Mhm.
series now are that, but you look at doing a series so that you can have season 2, season 3, season 4, and build that library and
Right.
build that universe off of those other seasons to offshoot, so you can make more money.
This is fascinating to me. I'm just
Okay.
I know it. I'm the consumer. I'm the consumer.
Right.
So for me to look at how it's been done, I'm just watching it, not realizing what it takes to do it, and that is just
Right.
now I'm getting into what it takes to do it type thing, and
Right.
it's overwhelming to a certain extent, but
Yeah.
it's fascinating too at the same time.
Well, yeah, it's an overwhelming industry as far as everybody wants to be a producer. Everybody wants to be, at that top edge of it, but you have to have such an understanding of every aspect of it to understand how to produce good content.
Mm.
I can make a film. I can go out with my iPhone right now and go, apparently, according to the commercials, I can go out with my new iPhone and shoot a movie. Not that I would, because quite honestly, we're still spending a hell of a lot of money on the cameras on set. We aren't switching over to iPhones, which would be so much cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you can't really shoot, unit photography on your iPhone because it's not, it's good. Trust me, it's good, but it's
Mhm.
not the level of good that you really honestly need. But
Right.
everybody, because of the advent of YouTube and the other like streaming platforms that you can like put your stuff up and people can watch it,
Right.
um, there's a difference between how Martin Scorsese makes something and I would make it,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
Uh-huh. I understand. It's but like you said, you
So
look at that commercial and it looks like that everybody just take out your iPhone, put it on on here, and now we
yeah,
can.
but I was thinking about that when I was looking at the ad, because that's where I come from, is advertising as well. And I was looking at the ad, I'm like going, that's great. So you have the iPhone there showing, you have the camera showing the iPhone shooting that, but yet the camera that they're using to shoot the commercial is, a 4K, or it's a red, or it's an amazing camera. So
Yeah.
no, really, honestly, you can't shoot a whole movie on an iPhone. Unless if you are somebody like Martin Scorsese who knows the ins and outs of this camera to make it look absolutely amazing.
Right.
So I think it's a little misleading on the fact that
Mhm.
commercial ad, because you just can't. I'm sure somebody's going to send me something saying, yes, I can look. But the thing is no.
You're like, no.
No, no, because I'm going to know. But yeah, there's so many intricate parts to making this product. It's not as simple as some people think it is. Yeah, we all have stories to tell, and to me, I think it's easier to produce theater. If you have a story to tell, write it down. Do a film, a theatrical or theater
Right.
show.
Right.
See if the audience resonates with that script, and then go and take it and put it into something else. Because it's great. It's cathartic to get your story out. It's another thing in order to make it compelling enough for me to sit. Because you're asking, this is the thing with television, you're asking me to sit and invite you into my house.
Yeah.
I'm inviting you into my house for me to watch you in my house. So that's an intimate thing. Going to a movie theater, you're begging for people to come, but having you come into my home is something completely different.
It is. And you're right. There's an intimacy there. It really is.
Yeah.
We have, Sheila said, I would love to learn more. Well, Sheila, you should go to Clubhouse. You go, because I'm telling you, you think you're learning. Am I right, Lisa?
Yeah, you learn a lot when you're on there.
You do. Sometimes I just listen. I just sit there. I don't go on stage. In fact, I rarely go on stage. Depends on what's going on, but I'm not in the position to be on stage saying anything. So I've learned you just sit back and listen. But Clubhouse is an app. You can get it on your iPhone. It was iPhone. Now it's Android and iPhone. And it's Android. And it's all audio, Sheila. You don't see anybody.
I can talk in my pajamas.
I think we love that about it, don't you?
Yeah. I love it too. I think it's a great forum where I don't have to put makeup on or anything like that, and I can talk. But I think it's pretty. During the pandemic, it was great. It allowed a lot of us that normally I would do forums and go and sit on the panel and talk to people, and people would come, and we weren't having that. And those discussions help us have healthy conversations about where the media is going, where entertainment industry is going. Yeah, we do a lot of 101 informational rooms, but I think when you're doing, for me, I like the discussions of where media is going. How is media developing? How are we moving forward in, where everybody has a phone and we're vying for everybody to get and watch the show on the phone. I mean, because you're having to shoot now differently. Like when you shoot for film, you're shooting for a huge screen. But when you're shooting for TV, you also now have to think that a lot of people, especially the Gen Zs, watch it on their iPhone or watch it on their Android. So they've got this small screen that they're doing. And, it's daunting right now. But it's also fascinating, fun, and exciting, and there's just so much going on. And it's just a great time, I think, to be involved in the media landscape.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm just, like I said, just watching from the as I am, as they call it, Joe Q consumer. I'm the one that they're vying for, my eyeballs to be looking at that, and because I don't know a lot of the background, so I don't have, and I'm learning, but I'm still more so the consumer. And and what is it that I'm looking for is what they would like to know. What is it? What do I want to see? And
what do you want to see?
This is for you, Lisa. Elaine says, Lisa, this is definitely enlightening the audience. It gives me a little insight into what goes behind what I'm watching on the screen. It says, "Go Trojans." I think her daughter.
Oh, right. Yeah, Trojans. Yeah, except we kind of sucked this weekend playing football. That was depressing. But yeah, fight on, fight on, definitely.
She said her daughter is. She said, "My Trojan alumni daughter is proud of you, Lisa."
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, Trojans are the best. I love.
This is that.
I'm so USC. It's just like, yeah, it's almost scary. It's really scary, but
I tell you. And then
yeah.
Jason LeBeau. Hi, Jason. I haven't seen Jason in a long time. Hi, Jason. He's just
Party
CC's
hat.
party hat. So I'm going to repeat this for those of you that are not familiar. Clubhouse is an app. You can put it on your phone, an iPhone or Android. They opened up to Android about 6 months ago. So anyone,
Yeah.
I think, can get on. All
Yeah.
audio. There's nothing visual. Nobody sees you. As Lisa mentioned, you can be in your pajamas. Nobody will know. I think
Yeah.
and it's really, I tell people it's like a podcast on steroids.
Well, it's a pod. You can't even equate it to being a podcast because a podcast is recorded, right?
It's
But
true.
it's kind of like, and you can't talk, you can't ask a question. So it's a very interesting forum, which I think
It is.
it is because anybody can talk, and that's a
Mhm.
scary thing. So at times you're like, "Woo, baby, we need to shut that mic off." But yeah,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
it's like I said, I enjoy educating people on what media exactly is, because I think a lot of us get into it thinking, well, I've got a story, it's so easy to tell. And I don't want to diminish anybody from telling their stories. I think you should go and you should write it and you should try and get it done, but I need you to understand the realities of it. The realities of what it is to market out a piece of product.
Right.
It's one thing when you make it. It's like, now you need to know, um, if nobody watches it, why did nobody want to watch it? What was the feedback on
Mm,
it?
right.
Or if you do have a ton of people watching it, why did they want to watch it? You need that why answered.
Okay.
You know.
Well, let me.
So,
I will tell you. Let me just ask: is there any final words that you would have to? Let's say someone's interested in going into the entertainment industry. What type of advice would you give them?
I'd be like, run.
Don't say don't go, Lisa.
uh, I like the thing is I think to be in the entertainment industry, in anything in that level, music to art to whatever, it has to be a passion, a burning desire to why you want to do it. It has to be something that, not that you just want to try and dabble in it and see what happens. It you have to have a compelling reason to be in it, and it on all levels, from distribution to production to everything. um and I think it's really look and see where's your superpower. Don't think you can create everything. I mean, when you look at people like what is it, Tyler Perry. He started out in theater. He was, from the trunk of his car. It wasn't the man that you see today. You can't jump into his shoes right now and think you
Mhm.
can do that. He traveled the Chitlin circuit and did plays and, had the costumes in his trunk of his car. So there's that path that you are going to have to go on. And it's that starving artist path. And you have to starve to really understand what this business is about, to have that passion and that desire to succeed and to make it your life's mission. It's
So it's
not just, yeah,
it's not just something in our, because I think what we see, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
go ahead. No.
We see that we're seeing the end. We didn't see the beginning.
Yeah, you haven't seen the beginning, and the beginning is really tough for artists in the beginning. And if you're willing to do that struggle or understand that struggle, then great. You'll do good. But if you're just expecting to all of a sudden walk in and pitch me a show and me to go, oh yeah, it's fantastic, let's go ahead and take it, it's not going to probably happen, and you're going to get depressed, and that's the whole thing. It's just completely understanding what your passion is and understanding there's going to be times where it's going to feel very defeated, and you have to be able to get up and go again, because this industry is not pats on the back all the time. There's a lot of
Mm.
uh there's a lot of things that happen within it that make you want to throw in the towel and walk away. And for those of us that have done that and then it pulls you back in, that's your passion and that's just where you need to be. As
Right.
often as I've tried to get away from it, I'm always pulled back in. So I've just decided, okay, that's it. I'm here. So,
But there's a passion. Would you agree? You have a passion for it. You may need a break from it sometimes, but there is a passion that you have for it.
oh yeah. I sleep, breathe, and eat like the entertainment industry, and always have. And for the period that I was away from it doing fashion and beauty, I still was wanting to be a part of it. And so I've always had my hand inside of it. And I've realized I just know this stuff. It's just what I know, and it's what I studied at USC. So I'm blessed that I'm having a great career in it.
Good for you.
You know.
For you. Well, we have a couple more comments. One is from
Go ahead.
Garth Newberry says, Mary, today's show was very enlightening and informative with Lisa. Clubhouse is apparently a valuable platform for media, marketing, and entertainment. I'd say for you, honestly, don't leave it there, Garth. I would encourage all of you, just get the app and listen in. You will find what works for you. That's all.
There's a lot more to it's not just entertainment and marketing or whatever. There's self-help, there's I don't know what is there's manifestation rooms, there's crypto, there's this, there's that. It just depends on who you're following and how you gravitate towards those rooms. I just stick in the entertainment industry rooms just because I want to have value to what is being spoken to, and there's tons of people on there that are formidable in my career. So definitely.
Well, Lisa, we like to thank you. Before I go, one last comment. Great show, very informative, and thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad I could be of service. I hope. I don't know what I spoke about, but right on.
Thank you for coming. We really do appreciate you spending some time with us today. Thank you.
No problem.
All right.
I'll talk to you guys later. Good luck.
All righty. All right. Bye-bye, Lisa. Ladies and gentlemen, we're a little bit over, but I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming to the show today. We'll be back next Monday with another special guest. God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.